For this first video, I'll provide you a preview of Joomla's powerful extension types. We'll explore modules, which are small content blocks that can add functionality and display dynamic content throughout your site. You'll learn about components, which are larger, often standalone applications, and how to discover and install extensions from the Joomla extensions directory, including plugins, templates, and languages. We're going to do it all, so let's go ahead and get started. In the last video, we went over the content structure of Joomla. We looked at articles, custom fields, categories, tags, menus, and menu items, and we checked all of those off our list. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at extension types. The first one on our list are modules, and modules can be found over here on the left-hand side of our administrative backend, our navigation under content, and you can see right here, site modules. So if you click on that, you're going to see all the modules that have been installed with our sample data. You can see right here a position. This is designating where this module sits inside the template, and you can see what kind of module this is. This is a module that has to do with articles. This one's about tags. This is a menu and a smart search. So they're all listed right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of these modules. So the first one here is popular tags. This is a specific type of module called tags popular, and you can see that it has a bunch of different options for being able to select specific tag groups or to use them all and how many tags to display. So over here on the right hand side, you can see position. This is designating which position, and this is the default template for Joomla. It's going to tell you which position to have this particular module show through, and those are all the positions in the template. You can also go over here to menu assignment, and you can designate that it's going to be displayed on all menu items or only on select ones, and then you can go through and say, I only want this module to show through on certain module pages. So let's go ahead and click on our login form here, and you can see that there are fields specifically for the login field that have to do with defining how this module looks on the page and how it behaves. So there's like pre and post text. There's a redirection page that you can specify after login and things like that. We can also take a look at any of these menus. You can see that this is a menu module type. Menus are modules that you can select and then place somewhere within your layout. So if we click on main menu, then you can see that the main menu here has been selected here in the drop down. If I wanted to create a new module, I would just go up here to new, and this is going to give you the selection of all the different types of modules that are available inside of Joomla. So these are all the default modules that come installed with Joomla. When you install an extension, that potentially is going to be making more modules available for you in this layout. So that's it for modules. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off our list. And now we're going to take a look at components. Components can be found down here. They get their own section here in the menu, and all of the components that are installed by default with the Joomla core application are all listed right here. We've already gone through and taken a look at tabs, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to install a component for you to take a look at. So to do that, I'm going to go over here to System, and under this section right here, Install, there's an extensions option. So if I select that, this is going to give me a couple of different options. I can upload a package to install into my website. I can do it from a folder on my server, and I can also install from a URL. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to install from the web. This listing right here is pulling from the Joomla extensions directory, or the GED. And this gives you a really fast way of finding extensions and installing them directly on your website. So if you look at any of these extensions, you're going to see these little CMP icons. Those stand for what's included in that extension. So for this one here, this form builder, it has included with it a component, a module, and a plugin. If If you look at some of these, this one is only a component and a plugin. And let's see if there's only one that has a module right here. So this one is only a module. So each of these come in as kind of a package of extensions, and they've designated these as either components, modules, or plugins. You can see here the ones that have this yellow $sign mean that they are paid plugins, and you can't actually install them from this interface. You're going to have to go to the developer's website, purchase the plugin, and then you can upload the package directly to your site. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here to an extension called JDownloads because it has a component, a module, and a plugin. This is a really feature-rich download manager for Joomla. So let's go ahead and click on that and click on the install here. So that's going to go through and it's going to install the component, all of the modules, and the plugins. And you can see here that there's a bunch of them that come in with this extension. So let's go ahead and take a look here because there was a component installed. It's going to show up here in the components menu. So if you click on that, you're going to see a sub menu under JDownloads, and there's a ton of stuff here. If we go to the control panel, you can see that this is like an application within your CMS with all the different options. I would have the ability here to create categories for my different types of files, to be able to upload and manage files directly from this interface, have layouts, watch the logs, and all kinds of different functionality that has to do with this particular component. Now, this extension also installed modules, so let's go ahead and take a look at those modules by going over here into Content and then Site Modules. I'm going to go ahead and click New, and let's say JDownloads. So that's going to filter our selection, and you can see all of the modules that come in with this extension. There's a bunch of them. You can use the module for JDownloads Featured, where you can mark particular downloads as featured, and it's going to show up here in this module. The latest, the top downloads, and so there's a lot of ways of presenting this particular extension's features on the front end of your website. Now that I've shown you how to install a component and where to find it in the menu here on the left-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and check this off. The next thing is to take a look at plugins. So this particular extension also installed a bunch of plugins, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. The way that we do that is we go over here to the System menu here and go over here to the Manage menu and then click on Plugins. Here you can see that there are a bunch of plugins. There's 157 of them, and a lot of these plugins are part of the core installation of Joomla. So if I wanted to see the latest plugins that were just installed, I'm going to go over here and click on the ID, and so I'm going to filter the ones that we just installed at the top because it's sorting based on the ID number. And these plugins are getting assigned ID numbers in chronological order as they're getting installed. So we can see here filtered at the top are all of the JDownload plugins that have been installed. Some of them are enabled and some of them are disabled. The ones that are enabled are part of the core functionality, and you're going to need to have those on. The ones that are disabled typically are added functionality that you can use if you want to. So this one right here, for example, this button, JDownloads Content, that is a button that will get added to your editor so that when you are creating content, you can click that button and it can add JDownload links inside of your content. This one here, Content Downloads, allows you to use some shortcode inside any content on your site, and it's going to create a JDownloads link for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on one of these. You can see that there's not a lot of options inside this plugin. A lot of them are like that. So basically you're turning on and off the functionality. There are some, like this Content JDownloads, has instructions listed here with the plugin, so it has a tab with instructions. Or we can go over here to this plugin, and this gives you some drop-down boxes. here. There are some plugins that are going to look more like components because they have so many options and tabs that you're going to be using inside the plugin, or they can be quite simple like you see here. I've given you the overview of plugins, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that off of our list. And now we're going to take a look at templates. Templates are a form of extension. So if you want more than just the default template, which is highly recommended, then you're going to go ahead and install it. There is a place in Joomla where you could manage your templates on your site and assign them to different pages and do your overrides. And that's right here in the system menu. All of the template options are going to be right here. The first one is the site templates, where it's going to show you all the templates that are installed in your site. The next option here is Site Template Styles. You're going to see here listed all the styles for your templates. We have just one right here that is based off of the default template installed with Joomla. If I wanted to create a new style, then I would just click on this and click Duplicate. Inside of these styles, you're going to see some override options that you can customize. The level and depth of the options that are provided here by the template has to do with how the template developer is utilizing this specific functionality. You may be able to do a bunch of template overrides here in this menu, or it may be in the actual template application. You can see in this tab that I can assign this style to specific menu items. Now, if I go back to our system settings, you're going to see two more options here that have to do with setting the template for our administrative backend. Now, before we finish up with our demo on the templates, I want to install a third-party template and show you how that's structured, just to give you contrast with the default template setup in Joomla. And because templates are extensions, I'm going to go over here to the system menu and install extensions. This time I'm going to upload a zip file. This is UTheme Pro's page builder template that's available for both Joomla and WordPress. So with that successfully installed, I'm going to go back to System, and I'm going to go here to Site Templates, and it's going to show up right here. Now, my site is not using this template right now because I need to define it as the default template for our site. So I'm going to go back to System and Template Styles, and I'm going to click here to set this as default. Now, if I click on the UTheme style, I'll be able to assign the style to specific menu items, and you can see there's no actual overrides in this menu. You can do everything within the application. So I can click Customize right here, and that's going to take me to UTheme's page builder for my website. Or I can go ahead and click on this option that just appeared here when I made this the default. So let's go into our UTheme page builder. And you can see this is a very different layout and looks like a completely different application from Joomla. On the left-hand side here, I can adjust the layout of the overall site, if that be where the menus are or how the footers are designed, to the style of the site, and adjust with a lot of granular detail. Each of these gives individual options of how to style the site, and there are a ton of them. Or I can go with one of the many pre-built styles that comes with the UTheme builder. Within the UTheme Pro page builder, I can create static pages or templates. These templates are for your dynamic content. If you're going to have that product catalog and you have multiple products and you want them all to be displayed the same way. So if I wanted to quickly build a new page, then I would go over here to Pages, and I would create a new article that this page could be built off of. So I'm going to go over here and say New Test Page, and I'm going to click Save. Now that's going to show up here on the left-hand side. If I click on that, I'm going to go to this page, and I can now build a new page layout by clicking this button here, New Layout. So on the left-hand side is the page builder, and on the right-hand side, it's going to give me a preview of what my page looks like. So obviously there's nothing that we've built here, so this page looks blank. I can go over here up to the library and scroll through some of the pre-built layouts that comes with UTheme Pro. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one of these here. And you can see that it adds all of the elements here in the page builder on the left for this page that it's creating on the right. And just like with the page builder, I have the ability to drag and drop different elements around or create new elements from this large list of elements, if that be a gallery or a grid or a list or a panel, all kinds of different things that you can create to display your Joomla content. Now that I've shown you the default method of how Joomla handles templates, how to install a template framework, and how that template integrates into Joomla, I'm going to go ahead and mark this item off our list. The last extension type that we need to review is that of languages. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this, and I'm going to go back into my system settings, and I'm going to look right here under the Manage menu under Languages. Now, languages are pretty simple. If you want to install a new language on your site, then you just go up here to Install Languages, and you have a selection of languages that you can install. And you can see that there's 54 different languages that are supported here. So if you wanted to install one, then you just click on this button to install, and that's going to populate here. If you want to make that new language your default, then you just click the star here on that language. So that's it for languages. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. Now we've completed all the different extension types. We've gone over modules, components, plugins, templates, and languages. In our next video, we're going to be going over access and permissions.